Hi everyone. First, I want to thank for inviting me here. It was really enjoying trip. Today, I want to tell you a story. In IT, we mostly think that it's about the zeros and ones, but our software development work isn't so binary. Yeah, we got principles, we got rules, we got laws that we should follow, but yeah, there is always a but, and the but is always important because the thing that really matters came after but. And obsession, this is something that comes after but, and I believe that most of you already experience some kind of obsession. Maybe you are experiencing it right now, even unconsciously, and I will help you to find out what is your obsession and how to get rid of it. Okay, so my name is, oh sorry, not this button. My name is Sebastian Malaca. I came here from Poland, and the reason why I'm here is because I'm obsessed all over the time. I'm fanatic, and my fanatism is about object-oriented programming, object-oriented design, and code quality. And this is good because I'm learning. I'm trying to teach other people, but as I said, there is always but. You always need to know when to stop. I'm also a speaker, as you can see. I'm writing a lot, and I'm working as a software developer at Luxoft. And the Luxoft was the reason when I realized about the problem with obsession. Okay, so what I will try to serve you today. Firstly, I will like to build a base knowledge. I will try to put everyone on the same page. Then we will focus on the problems. I will tell you the story how I solved the problem, and then we will talk about obsessions. So, what is obsession? Obsession is fixation. We are thinking about something a lot, all over the time. We cannot think about anything different. That's a problem, because if you are focused on the only one thing, you are stop focusing on any other aspect. It's a huge problem. So what's mean? What's mean being obsessed? It's having something in your mind all the time. It doesn't matter whether you are thinking about code quality, about great design, about patterns, principles, rules, laws. If you are focused only on one thing, you are seeing only one thing. If you are focused only on one problem, you doesn't see big picture. And when we are working on the complex projects, the big pictures is the essence. You cannot introduce anything looking only on your small piece of software. You have to see everything. When I writing an articles, I'm usually using Thesaurus. This is the page when you can find synonyms of the words. And before the presentation, I try to look at the page and look for synonyms of obsession. And what I found, obsession is fascination, enthusiasm, and passion, and many others so positive words, because no one will tell me that passion isn't something good for us. We are passionate. We love what we are doing. That's why we are so cool. That's why we are so great. That's why we are doing what we are doing. However, this is really important to know that Thesaurus is wrong. Those aren't synonymous. Passion drives you to learn more. Obsessions leaves you in the same place. Obsession doesn't let you to move forward because you are focused all the time on one thing. Okay, so how I found the problem? In previous company, we were learning about TDD, code reviews, and so many other fancy words that helps us to create better software. And when I changed job, I've go to the Luxoft, and they bought me. How they bought me? Because they told me, man, we are doing TDD all over the time, and we are really good at it. We are focused on it. Great, this is great technique. What about test? We got unit test, integration test, component test, system test, and so on and so on. Okay, fine for me. What about continuous integration? Fully automated. You can do everything just like that, and it's done. What about feedback? Continuous integration, you are just committing something, waiting for feedback, and know whether your change is okay or not. Code, then someone is doing code review, another great technique, another great tool. And it really sounds amazing. Okay, they hired me, I choose them, they choose me, great. But after a few months, after small recognition, I decide to refactor small piece of code. And I had a problem. Then in the project we had something around 97 point something coverage. Great, huge number. Something that we really should be focused on. However, there was no component test. Whatever I touched, I broke everything. I had to firstly found system test that somehow cover the functionality that I changed. But it's hard to find system test because feedback from system test is something that takes time. You cannot run a system test in a matter of 5 minutes. It's impossible. Okay, so I had a problem. So what about the component tests that they were told me about? I went to the guy in my team, and I asked him, okay, Michał, what about TDD? How you could write anything with TDD, and right now we have got no component test. How it's possible? But we have high coverage. Okay, so what should I do? Stay focused on coverage. Cool, brilliant idea. And I tried, really, I tried. I tried to do reverse engineering. I tried to write those components tests. All my tries took me a week. After a week, I decided to remove everything. It was pointless. And that was our fixation in this project. We were focused on coverage, but who cares about anything else? If for you coverage is having unit test for anything, this is not direction that you want to go. This is wrong direction. But that will be first obsession that I will talk about, so I'll leave it for a moment. It's everything. All obsessions are about code quality. We developers are so funny people that our main goal is to be not unreplaceable. We want to be replaceable. How? We write tests that will give us documentation. We want to create readable code. We want to create maintainable code. Everything what we are doing have only one purpose: to create high quality of the code, to make possible to put another developer and onboard him in the project in a matter of months. We want to be replaceable. It's funny because usually in other jobs, in other areas, people want to stay and do everything what they can to be person who cannot be replaced. Weird. However, even if this is our goal, this is the way how we would like to achieve it, it's really hard. It's really hard, and we are get back into obsessions. Do you have any obsession? No. Okay. So maybe you don't know yet. My obsession is TDD. People in my team tried to push me back whenever I'm going too far, and it happens. It happens too often. There is two principles that I try to follow. It's law of the matter and tell, don't ask. I'm also going too far with it, and this is my obsession. I didn't get rid of it yet. Maybe I will stay with them because I won't have a possibility to get rid of them. However, I know about them, and if there will be any situation that someone will tell me, Sebastian, okay, calm down, you are going too far, man. There is this blink, there is this bulb, light bulb, which is lighting in my head, and I got a sign. Yeah, this is obsession. Okay, so whether you know or not, you are obsessed. And I will show you some kind of obsessions. There is a lot more, but maybe you will find yourself in this presentation. Okay, so coverage. How to achieve high coverage, and this is my favorite, remove all code. Great possibility to have the highest possible coverage, 100%, no code. And this is what we were doing in our project. Yeah, we had high coverage, but it was about really tiny method. There were mocks everywhere. Nothing really important. No documentation from me. No feedback after refactoring. Nothing. Unit means class. No. Okay. So after a while, I realized that 100% coverage is nothing so cool. Okay. Because, you know, high coverage doesn't mean high quality. And that's why this obsession is not good idea. And let me tell you about few things. When your goal is coverage, what you are doing? People are lazy. Everyone is lazy. Everyone want to do everything with as less effort as possible. We don't want to do any more than it's required. So how to achieve high coverage? Yeah, we can write component tests, but if you wrote any component test, you know that it's hard. Why? You have to know whole logic around the component. You have to know everything about input parameters. Input parameters are really often about logic, so you need to know what should be done, how we want to achieve it, and we have to know everything about output. This is when we are focused on component tests. You can achieve high coverage with component tests, yet it's far more easier with unit tests. Why should I focus on building complex domain objects? Why should I be focused on building whole components with all of their dependencies? I can use mocks. It's so simple. Did you are familiar with Mockito? Power mock? Cool. So you know how easy it is. It's extremely easy and great. We got high coverage with really tiny amount of effort. And the problem is that then we are thinking that unit test is everything what we need. Why? Because coverage is the basic statistic that we are using. We are going to the conference and what we are saying, our project is great because we got 100% coverage. Cool. How is your coverage? Less than mine. But it's not about quality. Coverage isn't about quality. Coverage is another statistic that you may use, may be useful, but may be. Okay, the problem is also with mocks. When you have to build objects, when you have to build domain, you need to think about how to make it easy and understandable. You don't want to have a given part in your tests for whole screen, because I believe that when you will be on the end line, you won't remember what is in the first slide. So you need it compact. With mocks, you don't think about those dependencies. If there are some weird dependencies in your objects, who cares? You will just mock the return value of the method. Simple as this. And you are using mocks. The more mocks you are using, the more mocks you will use, because it's easier for you. You are doing it automatically. Okay, so component test. If our code is already covered, do I need component test? What for? No, I don't need. Because I'm focused on coverage. And it's great. I got unit test. So this is what my friend told me. For what should I need write a component test? I already have this code covered. Yet the problem is when we are starting refactoring the code. I don't know how your test in your application looks like, but if you have both unit tests and component tests, do a simple experiment. Don't believe me, because I can tell you everything. Don't believe me. Just try it on your own. Remove your component test and try to refactor the code. With only unit tests, unit test is test for one particular class. With only those tests, your refactoring is not so safe. Why? Because each refactoring affects your test. First thing, you need to change the given test, because everything around this class is mocked. So if you are using JDBC directly, and right now you want to use your fancy repository, what you need to do? You won't just replace this in object and run the test, verify whether everything works or not. No, you will change the mock. This is not the feedback. So there is no feedback when you are focused on coverage, when you have no component test. However, we like statistics, we like numbers, and 100% looks great. Our HR department can tell newly hired person that look at the numbers. We got test for everything. Everything is tested, but it's also untouchable. Okay, let's move forward. System tests. This is another great thing. I believe that you know test pyramid. Unit test, component test and integration, and system tests. However, in many companies, in mine as well, unfortunately, our business thinks that each functionality needs to be covered by system tests. Each flow, each normal situation, each special case, each bug that is fixed should be covered by system tests. And great, but then we've got something like unit tests, component tests, system tests. This is not a pyramid anymore. Sometimes when you are forgetting about unit test, it's became reverse test pyramid. But what's the problem? You are waiting too long for feedback. System tests are really complex because we need to start an application, and we need to build an infrastructure from sometimes we need to inject a context, refresh the context. We need to build expectation. We need to check assumptions. If your application is based on asynchronous call, it takes time. There is more assumption, more and more and more. And you are doing small change, and what you are doing? You need to get a feedback. You cannot merge anything into your code base before all tests are green. So cool. I'm going to the kitchen, drink a coffee. I got 15 minutes for reading a book, maybe some, I don't know, page with memes. You like cats? You can watch. And after half hour, we are getting back to the computer. We are looking at the screen. Cool, still running, great. So maybe another coffee, but maybe 10 it's too much. Too much system test is just too much. You don't want to drink coffee all over the time. And so no reverse test pyramid. Not a good idea. This is my invention, test square. In our project, we have something like that. It's look like unit test. Forget about component test because there were none, and system tests. So we were merging after unit tests were green, and then we were waiting for system test. But there we were testing everything, any possibility, any flow, any kind of data, any input that can be reached. Forget about it. System test should be fast as unit test. Unit test took 5 minutes, 5, 10, something around, because they are those tests are fast. So we can have tons of them. It's cool. Same with component test. It's far more easier to change context, small context, rather than build a whole application. It's much easier. And what about system test? System test also can take 5 minutes. Just remove what is already covered by your component test. You don't have to test any kind of variation that is possible. You've got component test for that. You've got unit test for that. Test only one flow, or something really important, really critical for your application, that you know that if this path will fail, you need to spend few hours, days, weeks at work, and you can go just after bugs will be fixed. If there are such a path, those are the paths that you need to test, but not everything. Okay, so system tests are cool, but don't be too focused on them. We got other tools. Defensive programming is great idea. However, sometimes we are going too far, and I don't want to go through the whole list what we are doing when we are too defensive, but I got few ideas that maybe can help you whenever you will try. Whenever you are checking the nulls, there are few problems. First, if the method will be used in many places, then there will be duplication. Because probably you will execute the method, check whether the result is null, and you will do something. In other part of your code, you will check exactly the same condition and you will do something. In other place of your code, you will check exactly the same condition and you will do something. So, as you probably notice, this check some condition, it's repeatable. This is against don't repeat yourself, and such a conditions can be moved. Where? Into the object. And this is what law of the matter is for. If we don't know whether something is null or not, and we expect that it always should be a value, an object, the object that method was invoked should guarantee that. Don't depend on additional checks. All methods should be a whole. So if you expecting that can be null, but this is the value that you don't want, never, ever, then object should protect should protect itself, should give you what you need. There is also a few things about boundary objects. Boundary objects are the objects for database or all the repositories, or objects that serves as data from some external source, or all objects that we are using to communicate with other application. Those are boundaries objects, and we often try to verify whether the data from those objects are correct or not. There is great thing to make it only once, because okay, if you are using some external resource, you have to verify the data, but don't do it anytime or every time. Make a wrapper, make a facade, make whatever you will call this object, but write it. Then you can test it. Then you will know what will be the result. Then this object can guarantee that all data will be already verified, or it will return some default if it's okay for you, or it will throw exception if it's okay for you, or will do everything what is okay for you once. There will be one place. Another thing, sometimes we go even deeper. We don't think about boundaries objects because it's not too defensive. If we want to be even more, we are verifying any object, everything, any kind of object. We are looking at our domain object, and we are verifying what was returned, and whether side effects of method invocations done what we think that they should do. This is not good direction, because you need to, firstly, you will do it anyway in this object, then you will check it in any other object that is using this object. Okay, so is it fixation or not? I think this is obsession, and you should not go in this direction, because it generates a lot of code, it generates a lot of tests, and it makes your code complex. Each detail, each verification, each null check is a detail, but any big application is built from many details, and in your application there are details that are really important. Don't add additional. Let's move forward. Okay, code review is a great tool. I really like it. And what are two main values of code review? Anyone knows? I got ticket for 3 beers. Code review. Okay, sorry. Joining each other. Cool. That's first. Light or dark? Light. Cool. There is one more. No, because you need to remove duplication, you need to know more than only this part of the code. Great. Dark, only dark. Okay, so yeah, that's true. We want to. Well, something's broken, or I'm breaking it. Readability and sharing the knowledge. And In our project, some really wise guy suggests something like following. Okay, if someone, anyone, reviewer, doesn't understand the code, what he should do? No, that's a good idea. I agree with you, but that wasn't the suggestion. He should go to the author and ask for explanation. Why? Not in any case. This is so wrong idea that it's even I cannot imagine it myself. However, we argue sometime, and fortunately there is no going to the author. However, sometimes author is really eager because he's so proud of what he wrote and how he wrote. He won't share the knowledge, so he will write you what he done. This part of the code looks like that. I'm connecting directly with the JDBC, not with my cloud, because if I would call to the cloud, there will be various problems. So it's easier for me to connect with JDBC and build domain object on our site, and so on and so on and so on. And this is only the one line of the code. And also he explained what was done. Whole story. Okay, so our team is right now responsible for delivering new great functionality, which will create a report. The report will be blah blah blah. We will gather information from blah blah blah. We need to verify this and this, and this tiny information is about verifying this input. Why? We got specs, and even if we don't have a specs, there are other ideas. So don't be too eager, because you are breaking so great thing from code review. You won't improve readability of the code because everything is known. If your code will be, if you will use, I don't know, full bar, bus, variables, method names, whatever, any other fancy names, with your explanation, developer will know what it's doing, because he can read big comment. Whenever you are explaining the code, you are not sharing the knowledge about application. Code should express itself. It's hard to achieve, and to be honest, sometimes it's required to go to the author and ask him, ask her, ask they, what they have on mind. However, before you will go and ask for explanation, try to understand the code. If you can, try once again. If still you are missing something, ask your colleague, not the author, another person who is more experienced. Not in matter of, I don't know, years of development, but in this particular project. He knows what kind of techniques you are using, he knows the libraries, he knows the common problems and issues. And finally, if you still won't know what the heck is in the review, then probably don't go to the author and ask for explanation, because probably there is something wrong in the code. And you can, I don't know, tell that you won't merge the code, ask for, make it more clear. The thing that you cannot understand the code in the review is it's not problem in you, that you are, I don't know, too dumb. You don't know too much. He's more experienced. This is not the problem. The problem is that the code is not descriptive. Should be. This is the main reason why we are doing code review. Don't explain too much. Okay, another thing, comments. What you already mentioned. Oh, one more. Yeah, okay, so there will be another question. There are comments in code review. Great. We can add suggestion, put links, copy and paste mem or mem with cut or whatever we want. But there are problems with comments. If you want to share the knowledge all the time with everyone in any matter, in any subject, because you are so wise guy and you really think that what you have in your mind is worth to spread, then you are opening the code review and you are doing the review. And you are focused on everything. First, you will look at the bugs. Maybe there will be, maybe there not. But the problem starts with when you are looking at the code and you are commenting any single line because it's not done in your way. Because someone is using a template method instead of strategy, and you know that strategy is cool. Template method isn't cool anymore. Yeah, believe me. Who cares? It works. It's pattern. Everyone is using that. Okay. This is first kind of the comment. My way or your way, and the problem starts when someone with few years of experience is writing the comment, and I'm a newbie in the project. What's the problem? Because I really can change my code. The code worked. The code was really descriptive, but it wasn't the template method. Problem. Another thing with comments is starting discussions. Do you using singletons in your code? Okay. And any kind, from any library, whatever. Do you have any singleton in your code? Okay, so I need to say that you are really great, because usually everyone using singletons. Everyone, really. We've got singletons in our libraries, in our solutions, in our codes. Why? Because we are lazy developers. We want to have everything fast. We want to have it right now. And what is even a bigger problem? Our customers want it right now. And sometimes there are situations that we are using some library, singleton, library solution, and our real senior or even architect or top architect of the whole top architects in the project tells us singletons are bad. Do something different, better. Okay, he is few levels above me, so I'm trying. I'm talking with my colleagues who are more seniors than I. They also got no idea how to make it better. I'm going to the architect, the architect, and I'm asking, man, how can I do it better? Yeah? Singletons are bad. Make it better. And we can start discussion, because I can argue with him. Yeah, of course singletons are bad, but we are using them, and so on and so on. I give my response. But he will give his response. Then I will probably also give my response, and the problem starts when other developers will be around and he will replay. Great, we got discussion about tiny piece of code, and probably many other developers before us used this in exactly the same way, and because this guy had a bad day, he thought, okay, this newbie will fix it. It was a waste of the time. So, another experiment for you. Don't write any comments. No suggestions, no links, nothing, only defects. Why? You will lose no learning. You won't teach anyone. No one would learn from you. However, after some time, after I don't know, month, two, depends on how big your project is, you can do the retrospection, or you may call it however you want. Doesn't matter what kind of methodology are you using. Just meet each other and discuss what we are missing, because there will be things that you are missing, and there will be things that you are. After all, you will think that was a great idea. There is no those discussion about, I don't know, additional space after my condition. We got static analysis tools for that. This is not what code review is for. If you want to become a poet and write tons of lines of text, write a blog. Don't put anything into the code review. Okay? We can go further. This is a great picture. And getting back to this coverage, if you got only unit test, changing this into this, not possible. Okay. Refactoring is cool, really. Why? Because we want to improve. We like to improve. We love to improve. We dream about perfection. Why we are thinking about code quality? Code quality, high code quality means we are almost there. Perfection is right under the corner, almost. We can almost feel it, but it's impossible. Perfection should be a goal, but you won't ever reach it. So don't try. Refactoring is a technique that allows us to improve the code. Great. But before you will start to do refactoring, draw boundaries. Tell yourself that, okay, I'm looking at this piece of the code, I'm looking at this class, but if I don't know, I will change method API, I will rename the method, some public method, and this will affect other methods. At least I will see the change in commit, in the pull request. I will stop within this class. Why? Because refactoring is never-ending process. You are starting with class A. You are renaming its public method. And those public methods are used in B, C, D. And C doesn't look so good as well. And I'm a professional developer. I will fix it. Okay, I will do that. And what I'm doing with C, I'm cleaning up the mess, and I'm changing some public API, and C calls with once again with D, E, F, G, and guess what? G also doesn't look so good. And after all, after I'm going to the G, whatever, Z, X, Y, Z, I'm changing this public API, I'm fixing it, making it better. But what's the problem? This object is used in my entry point, in A. And after this whole refactoring, A doesn't look so good anymore. You have to know when to stop. Okay, refactoring is cool. This is one of my favorite obsession. And guys in my team always kicking me and telling me, stop, Sebastian, this is our small module component package, don't go too far. Sometimes I'm listening to them. Okay, the best idea. Recently in the project, we had a problem with database, with cloud, but whatever. There were problems with objects that were handled in the database in cloud. There were too many memory load. So some experienced developer, he is right now some crazy title developer, he told us, we will fix it. I will talk with the business and I will give you money. After a month, he get back and he told us, we got 3 months. They will pay us for that and we can fix it. Okay? Great. We are eager. It's great to fix. It's great if someone paying us for something which is fun. Great. Yet there was a problem. We have a problem. We need a solution. We gather few really wise, really smart person in the room. On the beginning there was, I don't know, let's say 5. What's the problem? How to solve it? There were people who were working in the project for 4 or 5 years, and they all were struggling with the problems. And what was unexpected or obvious, each of them had already idea in his mind. The ideas were different. Each idea had pros and cons. There is no ideal solution. However, after so many years, everyone was obsessed about his idea. So they were arguing. The discussion was really problematic because you cannot say that my idea is better, okay, but your idea has pitfalls. Yeah, but yours either. Okay, so we are still in the same place. There was great problem because those discussions were never ending. We were meet once a week for that was amazing, for 3 hours, really long meeting, and we were discussing. We were all over again talk about the same things. Why? Because each of us had great idea. We were moving nowhere, that's for sure. We were bored. We were exhausted. If you have a big problem, I cannot give you a golden solution because this is ongoing problem in our project. So we didn't resolve it yet. But you need to have someone who will lead. There is no possibility to put people who have an idea into one room and tell them, let's invite something, let's change something, because they will go to different direction. The solutions, in our case, the solutions are really smart, but each one got pitfalls. It's hard to find the best idea. That's why right now we choose a leader and we are going in one direction. Yet still some people are struggling. Whether it was good or not, that's why I'm suggesting you to do exactly the same. More probe for experiment. Or maybe you already have a problem like that. Anyone? Did you solve that?
Yes, and the solution is common sense.
Okay.
You wrote passion vs obsession, but it should be common sense vs obsession. And when you discuss about which idea is better, it should be which idea is better for this case and which idea has common sense for your situation. For example, your situation may be a restricted, I don't know, deadline, and if you do it shitty but faster, and it will be the best idea.
Can be acceptable. Okay.
It's common sense.
Okay, this is how I'm trying to learn you something, you are learning me something. This is, I don't know how, okay, so came to me after the talk. Thanks, I will put this into the presentation. Okay, so best ideas are cool, but we need to know when to move forward. We need to have a plan. We cannot talk and talk and talk and talk. Meeting need to end with action plan. Okay, evangelization, my favorite one. Okay, another favorite one. I don't know whether on this conference whether there were any talk about microservices. Yes. Okay. Java 8. No. DDD, domain-driven design. Okay, covered. TDD are not so fancy right now. What is also REST? There was something about REST. Cool. Yeah. That. Okay. And how those? Not all. And to be honest, I don't want to argue with those presentations, but those presentations are mainly about selling the product, and this is okay. This is why we are the reason why we are doing the presentation. We want to sell the product. We want to spread our experience, spread our knowledge, and we want you to try it, to challenge it. Why? Because if me and you will fail, we got the information. This is important. And also, we are going to the conferences to learn something new. So, those topics are cool, but, yeah, another but. In my project, unfortunately, I'm the person who is focused on TDD. I'm trying to learn people, to teach them how to do it correctly, how it makes their life easier. I'm fanatic of code quality, and sometimes I'm going too far. Whenever someone allows me to talk too much, until I'm focused on real examples or some basic information, it's cool. But sometimes I'm going too far. This is the case about any evangelist that you can know. And the problem is, if the person doesn't listen to you. We had an idea about microservices. We are going in our project. We always have a ticket for going to the conferences. So a few of us were on the talk. We heard about microservices. We were so eager to use it because it's cool, because it's new, because why not? Because it will solve our problems, and even if not, we will learn something new. Okay. And we starting to convince people that microservices are really, really cool. This is the solution for us. The problem is that you really need to be sure that this is solution for you. You need to challenge the solution. Without experience, you cannot know that. Without experiment, you cannot know that. Without anyone in the project who already tried, you don't know that. So don't try to convince people if your idea is only willingness to learn something new. It's not a good idea. I once heard a story. This is why I put this. Let's do some agile. Agile was or even still is some fancy word. Because everyone doing it agile, and if you are not doing agile, probably your software will fail, and if it doesn't fail already, it will, or something like that. Agile, sorry? Yeah, I know that. Of course, yeah. Agile is not silver bullet. There is no silver bullets. However, I heard a story. There was a guy who were presenting something, I don't know, some ideas about agile, and he told us a story. In Poland there is Alior Bank. I don't know whether it's here or not, whatever. There were a bank, and they ask consultant for a visit. They pay him a lot of money, and ask him, okay, we got a problem with our processes, fix it. You are a wise guy. You got in your CV and in your papers on your web page that you are the guy who can help us. What we should do? Okay. So the guy, I thought that the regular thing, I don't know, process in such a situation will looks that he will spend, I don't know, few weeks with the teams, with different hierarchy of managers and so on and so on. No, it wasn't the case. He went to the office, and after 1 hour he came back to the director who hired him, and he told him, Agile is your solution. It will solve all of your problems. But which one? Which problems? All of them. Great, yeah? Alior Bank is not working in Agile, as far as I know. So they don't hire him more. That wasn't a good idea. So no evangelization. And then another problem is with the catchy word. Sometimes when you are hearing the guy or girl and he's telling you how great it is, you are thinking, cool, that would be the great conversation if I would be during recruitment process. Yeah, I would like to hear that. But right now, geez, man, show me, prove me. Don't tell me. Action. Either show me your experiments, or show me your experience, or show me how you are doing it in our projects and what kind of positive impact it have. If none, don't do that. Okay, another great obsession. Whenever you are starting the project, we got our toolbox, yeah? Where is this pointer? Whatever. We are engineer. We got our toolbox. What is our toolbox? Principle, laws, solid, object-oriented paradigms, refactoring, TDD, test first, whole process around continuous integration, and so on and so on and so on. And we got more. With each project we got more. So what's the reason that we always end with something like that? Oh. Yeah, we are still on the line. Great. Are you familiar with solid? Yeah, cool. Do you like it? Yeah, you do. Yeah. Okay, law of the matter. Tell, don't ask. If not, read it. Read the word. Dry. Okay, you are shaking your head. Good. So I will tell you that you may break them all. All. But, as usual, but only if you have got really valid reason. Any rule. Any can be broken. Why? Because if you will treat your tool, one tool, those are tools. This is tool, or even this is a tool, those are tools. If you will treat one tool as your goal, you won't see all other aspects. You need to see it. You know what is the difference between senior and a less experienced developer? Senior thinks about impact on the project. They won't do anything until they won't think at least twice what kind of impact my change will have on whole application. To know that, this knowledge helps you to Grab a tool. You don't use hammer all over again to solve any problem. No. We won't use also code review to solve any problem. We got continuous integration. We got TDD. We got all of those principles, and so on. It's good to know them all. It's good to read about new one. It's good to teach other how we use them. And what is even more important, don't show how cool is that. Show how you fail. Because how cool is that? They can read on the blog, they can go to the conference, they will learn how cool is that. The really interesting piece of information is how it could fail. This is the knowledge that you should spread. This is how you decrease obsession. Challenge any obsession. Challenge any tool. Show that this is not a silver bullet. Okay, and the problem, this is not the obsession, but this is the problem. Sometimes you don't know that you are obsessed. Happens. Listen your colleagues from the team. Listen them. Each advice, each challenge, each misinformation that you gave them, each piece of code that cannot be understood by them. This is the sign that maybe you are going too far in one direction, and maybe you are focused on one direction. The first step to get rid of obsession is to know that you are obsessed. Okay, so what was served? We talk what is obsession, what is not, and I try to present you few obsessions. I believe that you know more. Even if you doesn't know that those are obsessions, probably you are already saw it. Maybe you have one, or maybe even more. And about passion, this is what comes against with obsession. Don't do with obsession. Do with passion. Do with love. This is how high quality of code is achieved. We need to care about the software that we are creating, but don't go too far. You need to know when say stop. That's all from me, from my side. If you got any question, okay, I got one beer. Who wants it? No one? Sorry? Oh, sorry. Good one. Okay, sorry. So, any question? No? No? Thank you very much.